So you're 13 years old, you're hanging out with your boys, and they tell you, yo bro, check this video out. You're curious, so you go over and you check out what they're talking about. You go over there, you see a naked girl, and suddenly your mind sparks with interest. So suddenly your mind sparks with curiosity and interest. You realize a whole new world of adventure, and you realize this new meaning of life, this new motivation. It's almost like you go from a boy to a man instantly. Next thing you know, you're so curious, and with the open access of the internet, you check it out yourself. You naturally start to act as if you are doing those actions. You start to release. The first time, it's the most amazing thing ever. Next thing you know, you're 17 years old. It's your third time in one day. You're releasing over and over and over again. You start to have dysfunction. You start to look at women unrealistically. Next thing you know, your own girlfriend isn't even attractive anymore. Or you can't even think of your girlfriend other than sexually. Your brain is already messed up. You're extremely tired all the time. You're extremely unmotivated. And things have just gone left. Now, before we get into this video, it is an extremely sensitive topic that 95% of men go through, but everybody does not even talk about it just because it's against society's standards to talk about this stuff. I want to say if you're below the age of 18, I recommend you don't watch this video only because it is not appropriate for children. I know I have a lot of children that watch my videos. If you are under 18, I recommend you watch my other videos just because you might not have gone through this yet, or you're not fully developed to learn about this yet. So the kid I'm talking about is me. You know, you figure out what you're into. You figure out how to release, and you at first it's the best thing ever, but then you start to do it daily. You start to lose yourself in this action. You start to view the world differently, and everything becomes unmotivating. You're extremely tired, and just everything just looks so bad to you. You become a pessimist because of this action. At the age of 18, when I graduated, I was doing it pretty much daily, and so was my friends, but we would lie to each other and say we weren't. I decided to make a change, and I decided to abstain from that stuff. I was at day 10 at this point, and although the urges were so intense, I would use that to study. I would use that to work out. I would use that to release energy elsewhere. And a big ding went off in my head. I suddenly knew how to direct my energy, how to direct my primal energy specifically. Now, one thing I want to make clear is that lust is in our nature, and it is okay to mess up. It is in your primal being, whether you're a male or a female, to procreate. It is in your genetics to do so, and God has given us that amazing gift to do so. But with the modern media and the modern society rules, this rule of not procreating with another woman or not procreating with another man almost normalized. We do it to our computer screens, and we do it to our imaginations and our unrealistic standards, and it completely throws the chain off completely. So it is okay to lust, but it is not okay to create action from it. Now, I'm going to explain why we lust and the ways you can trigger yourself to stop, and the ways you can redirect that energy into other things. We lust when we are in need of dopamine. Lust is the cheapest way of dopamine release, and it's right there. You can do it right now. Don't do it right now. But you can do it right now, and it is all these neurons going off in your head. This dopamine release when you finish, and it just, everything explodes. All of this moment, you feel like you're at the peak of your existence. You feel like you're the peak of man, and then it all goes crashing down. Instead, feed your brain with other activities. Feed your brain with productive things like working out. When you finish your workout, you have that pump. That's dopamine you're releasing. You're feeling good, but it's through a positive action. Delay your gratification, and the level of dopamine release that you'll get is going to be 2 to 3 times better than that cheap dopamine you're choosing. This goes with, scrolling TikTok and using social media as well. So replace your dopamine bad habits in general with good habits. Find your triggers and why you're doing it in the first place. Like for me, I was always lonely. All my friends had girlfriends. Everybody was starting to get into that stuff. I was the only one that was lonely. Figured out that was the reason, and I started to fill myself with love. I started to fill myself with my family, with my friends. I started to be alone less, and I started to be comfortable with my loneliness. I started to replace those bad habits with good ones like reading and writing. I started to exercise, and I started to get into entrepreneurship like this. I started to create, and I started to replace everything with the correct decisions. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I haven't done it in years. I do mess up because, like I said, lust is in our nature. But you should be replacing those things, and you should be fighting the urge as much as you can, especially if you have religious beliefs. You should be fighting those urges as heavily as you can. Like I said, find what triggers the behavior. Find your reason. Mine was loneliness. Some people, they're bored. Some people, they're anxious, and it makes them calm. Find your trigger and why you do it. Find your why, your emotional spot as to why you do the action. And be very third person about it. When you're like in no point of return, you're like, I'm doing it. Doesn't be aware. Be aware of the fact that you're doing it, and be aware of why you're doing it. You were stressed out today. That's why I'm doing it. I just feel so lonely. That's why I'm doing it. Find your triggers. And then the last one, find real world connections. Find somebody to procreate with. Find a loving woman. Find a loving man. Find somebody that you can love and cherish, because that procreation is going to mean so much more, and it's going to feel way better. You're not going to feel alone at the end. You're going to feel fulfilled and cherished. So find somebody to procreate with. Don't go around jumping around to women. Find one person, love them, cherish them, honor them, respect them, and the opportunities that will arise from that are going to be way better than using this guy right here. That's a little story that I wanted to give out to this video. It's definitely more sensitive, so do not watch if you're younger than 18. If you probably already watched by now, but if you're going through this, you are not alone. It is literally in 95% of men or above. Pretty much every single male goes through this. Some have more self-control than others. Be the guy that has self-control. Be the guy that has discipline. Choose your life over lust. Choose love over lust. Like I said, that was my last step. Choose love. Choose somebody. Show yourself that you can procreate and spread God's gift in a proper manner. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't liked or subscribed, drop a follow. Show some love. We're working every single day. We're so close to 500 subscribers. Appreciate everybody for watching today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.